This is the DJI Air 3 Fly More combo with DJI RC 2, and it has become the drone I keep reaching for when I want strong image quality, reliable safety, and long flight time without hauling a big rig. I came to it with some skepticism because the sensors are 1/4 1/3 inch instead of the 1-inch sensor I loved on the Air 2S. But the dual camera setup and the way this package works together won me over quickly. Folded up, it feels compact and solid, not toy-like. The gray finish looks clean and holds up well after being tossed in a backpack and pulled out for quick flights. At about 720 grams, it has enough mass to sit steady in the air, which I notice right away when I'm framing shots in moderate wind. The gimbal locks firmly with the protector. The low-noise props click on with confidence, and nothing rattles. The Fly More combo bag is actually well laid out, and I can grab the drone, the RC2, and batteries in seconds. The RC2 controller is the unsung hero here. Key features like the bright integrated screen mean I don't need my phone, and that alone streamlines setup more than I expected. The joysticks are smooth and predictable, the antennas fold neatly, and the whole thing feels like a proper tool. From my experience, the dual cameras are the magic. The 24mm wide lens gives me that open, cinematic look for landscapes, and the 70mm medium tele camera lets me compress background and isolate subjects without pushing the drone dangerously close. Both cameras share the same 1/4 1/3 inch type sensor family, which means color and detail match well across lenses. I shoot 4K 60 HDR most of the time because it gives me motion smoothness and highlight protection without heavy tweaking. When I need stills, the 48MP photos have enough resolution to crop or reframe later. And that's been handy when I can't fly closer. Flight time is where this combo stands out. The spec says up to 46 minutes. In real flying with some wind and a reasonable safety buffer, I consistently land around 37 to 40 minutes. That changes how I plan shots. I'm not rushing. The charging hub is smart, and the power accumulation feature is something I actually use. When I'm down to 3 batteries with partial charge, I'll consolidate them into one strong battery so I can squeeze in a last flight. It's not flashy, but it saves shoots. The 04 video transmission might be the most confidence-boosting upgrade. I get a clean 1080p/60 live view with low latency, and the connection stays solid even when I'm flying a shoreline or a tree line that would freak out older systems. The rated range is up to 20 kilometers, FCC. But the bigger deal for me is how stable it is in normal legal visual line-of-sight flying. Combined with omnidirectional obstacle sensing, the Air 3 lets me focus on the shot. The sensors see in all directions, and with bypass enabled, it navigates obstacles more gracefully than older APAS versions I've flown. Active Track is smarter now, including the 360-style tracking that orbits while following. And I trust it because the sensing is comprehensive. I like its speed envelope too. It climbs and descends at up to 10 meters per second, and forward speed hits up to 21 meters per second. Those numbers translate into real-world control. I can push dynamic moves, then brake and reframe without the camera view wobbling all over the place. Cruise control is another small but meaningful tool. Lock a speed and direction, and I can focus on tilts, pans, and exposure changes without overcorrecting on the sticks. Low light? The wide 24mm at f1.7 performs better than I expected for this sensor size. I'm often able to keep ISO lower than I could on older mid-range drones, and footage stays clean into blue hour. The 70mm medium tele at f2.8 isn't as bright, so I keep shutter speed and ISO in check there, but it still pulls a usable image with careful exposure. I've also used the vertical shooting mode at 2.7K 60 for social content. It's not 4K vertical, but the results look sharp on phones and it saves me time in editing. For travel, this stability in both capture and workflow really adds up. FAA Remote ID compliance is handled, which is one less thing to worry about in the US. But I always remind myself to check local rules and registration wherever I fly. Not everything is perfect. In my opinion, the biggest friction point is raw photo processing. I've seen chromatic aberration and purple fringing in DNG files in high-contrast edges, like waves and tree branches against bright sky. JPEGs look fine, because the camera's processing handles lens corrections, but in RAW editors, I've had to fix it manually. It's doable, just a time sink. I hope software lens profiles catch up. Also, note that controller support is limited to the RC2 and RCN2 family, so older remotes don't pair. And if you're on Android, you'll need to download the DJI Fly app from DJI site since it's not on Google Play. None of these are deal breakers for me, but they're worth knowing. Key features that matter to me are the dual cameras, the long real-world flight time, the RC2 with the bright built-in screen, and the omnidirectional sensing paired with O4 transmission. It's perfect for travel creators and solo operators who need one compact kit that covers wide scenic shots and flattering subject isolation without moving the drone too close. From my experience, the image quality in 4K 60 HDR is consistent. The color from both lenses matches nicely, and the 48MP stills give me the cropping headroom I want. The handling is predictable, the wind resistance is solid for its size, and the charging hub's power accumulation has saved more than one sunset. I'd recommend this for anyone who's grown past entry-level drones and wants a reliable camera platform with pro-leaning features but doesn't want to step up to the size and cost of a larger rig. If you're coming from the mini line, this will feel noticeably more stable and capable. If you're coming from an older Air model, the sensing coverage, flight time, and transmission will feel like a major upgrade. If you're a photographer who relies on RAW, be aware of the extra step for fringing correction. If you're mostly delivering video or JPEGs, you'll be very happy with the output right away. In my opinion, the DJI Air 3 Fly More combo with DJI RC2 hits a rare sweet spot. It blends creative flexibility with the 24mm and 70mm cameras, dependable safety with full direction obstacle sensing, and real endurance that lets me shoot more and stress less. The RC2 simplifies everything by cutting the phone out of the setup, and the O4 link keeps my live feed clean so I can focus on composition. I wish RAW lens profiles were better supported, and I'd love a bit more light from the 70mm at night, but the overall experience is excellent. It's perfect for travel films, real estate, landscape work, and any solo creator who values portability without giving up control or image quality. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more practical camera and drone reviews, and drop your questions or your own Air 3 tips in the comments. Thank you for watching.